Simply, because Arabic numerals are not Arabic numerals. In fact, in Arabic they are called Indian numerals and come from Sanskrit characters. Edit. I am aware there is a lot more context historically and culturally here, but this is ELI5. Just trying to keep it simple. Prompts the question why they were called Arabic, but makes sense. Don't know if it's a thing in English, but in my language we call them Indian Arabic numerals, which covers the idea that they were developed by the Indian and got to Europe through the Arabs. I learned them as Hindu Arabic numerals. My opinion. Hindu Arabic numerals are as simple as actual Arabic numerals, which are as simple as Arabic letters, which are as simple as Latin letters. Arabic letters are just unfamiliar. What also might make a difference? The Latin alphabet was often chiseled into stone, whereas the Arabic letters are more curvy and suitable for handwriting. Modern, Western, numerals might also be simpler because they were used earlier than actual Arabic numerals for asterisk printing. Greater than Arabic letters are just unfamiliar. This is the correct answer. It doesn't matter that they are Indian Sanskrit numerals, they still are complicated. Ancient Indian mathematicians had many elaborate ways of constructing and expressing numbers in addition to the usual modern-day descending place value notation, 3503 Ht3 HREE. They sometimes used letters as placeholders, or poetic symbolism. That often involved words with consonants and vowels, the whole works. They were complicated to read, just like reading any other sentence. The miracle of Indian numerals is that they make math much simpler than Greek methods of writing numbers. That is why the numerals seem simple, because they break down even the largest number into bite-sized chunks. Show the numbers to aliens and they will find them complicated to look at. As others have pointed out to you, Arabic numerals is a bit of an ambiguous term. But I know you mean the standard digits used in Western writing, and I'll respond accordingly. They're not really. Arabic letters are actually fairly simple, for the most part. They're just unfamiliar to you. The Arabic alphabet is a phonetic alphabet with 28-ish characters. And each letter is visually distinct, with none more similar than M, N, N, and R, are in the modern Latin alphabet. They only appear complicated because you haven't been given the opportunity to learn to distinguish them. The most confusing thing about the Arabic writing system is the variation in letters' appearance depending on their placement in a word, but that's basically just cursive. If your school taught you in cursive from day one, you'd see it as normal too. As someone who is learning Arabic, I can confirm that Arabic letters are for the most part simple. To me, at least, they're easier to remember and write than Devanagari or Hiragana. Even the fact that letters' appearances change depending on placement within a word isn't that bad, since for the most part the different forms are quite predictable. Because it's Hindu Arabic number systems. The Hindu Arabic numeral system. https://en.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/hindu%e2%80%93 Arabic_numeral_system was invented between the 1st and 4th centuries AD by Indian mathematicians. It was adopted by Persians and passed further west and into Europe by the Arabs. This is what I learned as a child. I got really confused as to why everyone was only saying the second part of the name when I got older. Arabic numerals, do you mean Hindu Arabic numerals? And I just got strange looks. The English or European numerals as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0 are the Arabic numbers, while the Arabic numerals as are the Indian numbers. The original European numerals are the Roman as I23IV versus V78XX. The reason why the Indian numerals are used in Arabic is the writing direction, as you can use the Indian numerals from right to left, which makes sense for a language written from right to left. The reason Europeans used the original Arabic numerals, I guess, simply because they are way simpler than the Roman ones and are technically written from left to right like all European language. And they have a zero, which Roman numerals do not. Arabic letters are also really simple? just has a few more letters than Roman. It works out about the same since they gave a letter for things, shish, for example, whereas English doesn't. So, I mean, in part it's just because you are more familiar with the numbers than the letters. They seem simpler because you already understand them. I'm not sure why this is so far down. Everyone else is talking about orthography, but it's honestly just familiarity. Arabic letters, characters have been changing and getting more elaborate to meet complexities. The Arabic alphabet consists of 18 shapes that express 28 phonetic sounds with the help of diacritical marks. That simplicity has to be sacrificed later for accuracy and math, scientific writing. That people are no longer pressured to guess from context which one is intended to be said. The same letter shape can form a B sound when one dot is placed below, a T sound when two dots are placed above, or a TH sound when three dots are added above. See Fig. 10. Example. This shape is the same in this three-letter word. Just the dots placement and count would denote the difference. The full word is with connected letter. Cursive is tabith, which means to broadcast. https://www.metmuseum.org/learn/educators/art-of-the-Islamic-world/unit-2/origins-and-characteristics-of-the-Arabic letters The Arabic letters are actually fairly basic. They just look strange if you can't understand them. All these letters are nearly identical, just with the dot moved around, and the letter A is just a straight line. Fun facts. Dots weren't added until later on. Arabic, like Aramaic, had no dots at first. Because you grew up learning the numerals and not the letters. The Arabic alphabet is not objectively harder, it's just different. Have you seen Japanese numbers and Japanese kanji? You are in for a surprise. Yi-san. The Arabic numbers are 1,234,567,890, which got adapted by the West for the use of math, algebra, which was created by Habir ibn Hayyan. The Arabs adapted the Indian numbers. As they did a lot of trades with India at the time, to make things easier they used the same numbers to make using the ledgers. The letters and numerals are not so different in complexity, when letters stand alone. What looks complicated is the Arabic equivalent of cursive, except that they always use cursive for words. Are they, or are you just used to them? Lol. I'm guessing you grew up with Arabic numerals, but not Arabic letters? What do you mean simpler? Based on your profile it seems you are an English speaker. So you probably grew up with Arabic numerals. So you know them. You didn't grow up reading Arabic outside of numerals, so you don't know Arabic. You learned Arabic numerals in school, so of course they are simpler to you. You can never unlearn them. How do you know Arabic is less simple if you have never learned it? What are you using to make this comparison? There was a show on Netflix about the history of math, and in it they mentioned the theory that the numerals were originally written such that the number of angles was the same as the value of the numeral. You would have to be a lot more strict about how you write them to see this than most people are these days. But that might in part explain the simpleness of the numerals. They don't come from Arabia is the real answer. But the Arabic script is also not any more complex in construction than Arabic numerals. Each letter is at most 3 strokes, which is comparable to the English alphabet. Simple answer is, because they stole it from Indians. Information desk. In Indian languages they are written as, and by times they changed their form until 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. The Arabic numerals, used in Western languages, are not the same shape as the numerals used in Arabic itself. An Arabic font has numerals which are closer to the style of the letters. I assume the original Sanskrit source looked closer to Sanskrit writing, as well. I always thought they came from India. Were then adopted by Arabic-speaking peoples who also added on the zero, then Europe picked it up from them. Since Europeans got them from Arabs, they just called them Arabic numbers. So, for your question, they have a completely different origin, so that's why. Egyptian here. I read the comments and they are talking about Arabic, Indian, Latin numerals, and other things. But they tend to forget one important thing. All these numerals are much newer than the language and were introduced later to Arabic. Arabic language originally used the alphabet letters to count asterisk, where the first alphabet is 1, the second is 2 and the 11th is 20, and so on. When Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi, https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Muhammad_ibn_Musa_al-Khwarizmi the father of algebra. When he introduced the way of math we use today, he needed special characters to represent the numbers, especially the 0, which was not known in almost all languages by that time. Some say he invented the Arabic numerals 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Later it seems we adopted the Indian numerals instead. But it is still so normal to use the Arabic numerals here as I do asterisk asterisk, and the direction of writing from right to left makes no difference, as I saw some comments suggest. Bonus tip: Arabic letters aren't complex or hard to construct from natives' POV. Think of Chinese smiley face. Side note: have you ever tried to use Roman numerals to do multiplication or division? Yeah. So glad the Arabic numerals caught on.